Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are. Welcome to Beach Walk Blog. Today, I want to issue a slight apology. And the apology I want to issue is to people who I'm upsetting. I'm sorry I'm upsetting you. I really am. I know it's difficult. I went through a lot of years training to be a personal trainer, spending thousands and thousands of pounds. It was pounds at that time because I was in England. Dollars, whatever you want to, if you want to convert it to dollars, it was a lot more dollars. I spent a ridiculous amount of money on tons of courses, Pilates courses, kettlebell courses, TRX courses, NASM certified personal trainer, expert courses, thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds over many, many years to be called a certified personal trainer with lots of bolt-on accessories to my name. And I have to be honest with you, I was considerably upset myself when I realized that all of that wasn't helping me. So I understand why people get pissed off with me, why people get upset with what I do, and why being told that things that you're doing are not helping you to either get injury free, prevent injuries, or become a better runner. Because I was told for many, many years that, and this was by a lot of doctors, physical therapists, physiotherapists, podiatrists, chiropractors, you name it, I was told by all of them that what I needed to do was to be stronger, I needed to be more flexible, and I needed more core strength to be injury free, or to get over the injuries that I was suffering and to get out of pain. And that I know that that's what you're told. I absolutely know that that's what you're told because I get people coming to me all the time. I talk to people on calls, on Zoom and on Skype all the time about how they've been doing all the things that they've been advised to do, and they're not getting any better. In fact, what they're getting is worse. And that's the situation I was in. But believe me, I spent a lot more money than you did to be in the same boat, injured, still in pain, getting nowhere, getting worse. I spent a lot more money and probably a lot more time, 15, 20, 25 years of being in pain before I started to do things the way I do things now. And when I tell you that I am injury free and I'm pain free, I absolutely mean it 100%. I am injury free, I am pain free, I don't have pain anymore, I don't take painkillers like I used to. I used to knock those painkillers back like they were Smarties or M&Ms. Not good, not a good place to be, and I know that that's not a good place to be. And if you're in that place, that's not a good place to be. Because I reckon if I'd have carried on doing the same thing that I was doing, I would have carried on getting the same thing I always got, which was gradually in a worse situation. And I know that I would have been on some serious pain medication, pain pills, whatever by now. Probably would have ended up being a real big drug addict by now, because it was horrible every day, the pain every day. So when I tell you the things that I do, and when I try and help you and share the information that I share, I know that it's going to upset people, because I'm rocking the boat, man. I'm rocking that boat hard. And the reason why I'm rocking that boat hard is because I actually want to help you. I don't just want to, talk the same stuff that everybody else is talking, because I still see so many people in the same boat that I was in, injured and getting nowhere fast. Not getting injury free, not getting pain free, not even getting better. Or they're on this roller coaster ride, this circular pattern of injured, pain, stop running, pain levels go down, do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, some of these, and then they go back to running again, and it's like, oh yeah, it feels okay for a few weeks, and then as soon as you up your mileage, boom, injured again. Back on that roller coaster we go, and that's how it goes. And that's where I was, on that roller coaster, every day, every month, every year, for many years. So yeah, I apologize if I'm upsetting you. You know what, it's really, it's kind of hard to say, but you know, if I'm upsetting you, I'm triggering you. And being triggered is actually a good place for you to be, because it's showing you where you're going wrong. You know, if you get triggered by something that someone says, that kind of hurts, and I know that hurts, because all that money that I spent on my certifications and my courses and all the physiotherapy and everything that I got wasted my time. It did me literally zero favors, because I got worse and worse and worse and worse. So why would I keep doing the same thing that I always did? Why would I do that? And yeah, I'm probably rambling on a little bit, but you know, people confuse my negativity with my passion for getting results. Now, when I say that this doesn't work or that doesn't work, and you keep doing the same thing you always did, you keep getting the same thing you always got, I get people screaming at me and sending me messages going, oh, you're so negative, I don't like the things that you write. You know what? I don't care. And the reason why I don't care is not because I don't care about you, is that I don't care about the bad crap results that you're getting. And why should I? Why should I care if you're not willing to listen, but what you carry on doing is the same thing over and over again? Why do you keep doing it? It's not me that should really be apologizing to you. It's you that should be apologizing to you. You should be apologizing to yourself. Unfortunately, that is the reality. If what you're doing is not getting you the results that you want to get, and it's not getting you the improvement that you want to get, then you have two choices. Well, you have three choices. First choice, carry on doing what you've always done and you'll get what you've always got. You have no right to be angry or pissed off or mad at anybody but yourself. Okay, that's option one. So don't get annoyed with me for telling you that what you're doing isn't working, because you should be able to see that. You should be able to see that for yourself, because it's right in front of you every day. I'm not getting any better. It's not helping me. It's not doing me any favors. I need to change. But you're not, and you're not choosing to change. You're choosing to stay the same and keep doing the same thing you always got. So that's option one, right? And this is my turnaround point right here, because I'm not walking through that. So that's option one. Option two is a better option than option one, but it requires for you to actually realize and understand that what you're doing isn't working. Now, option two is just stop doing what you're doing. All right? Just stop doing what you're doing, and you'll automatically, instantly, you'll get a different result. You'll get a different outcome. Okay? Just because of the fact that you change your actions, you'll get a different reaction. Okay, so that's option two. Option three, you stop doing what you've always done, and therefore you immediately start to get a different result. But then option three involves actually doing something different. And that's the difference between option two and option three. You do something different. And when you do something different, again, immediately you start getting a different result. And that's really, really important, because, you know, just stopping doing what you're doing will get you a different result. It will probably get you a better result than what you're getting now. I say probably, it will. But option three starts you on a process to actually getting the result that you want. Stopping getting the crappy results, that's great, but that doesn't start getting the result that you want. And I'll give you a little metaphor for this. I'm traveling north, but my destination that I want to get to is south. Option one, I carry on traveling north, and I go further away from my destination. Option 2, I stop. I no longer travel north, but I also don't start traveling south. So I don't get any further from my destination, but I also don't get any closer to my destination. Option 3, I stop traveling north, I turn around, and I do the opposite. I start traveling south. I start doing the exact opposite. And that's what I want you to do. I want you to recognize, firstly, that what you're doing isn't working. Secondly, I want you to stop doing it. And then thirdly, I want you to do something different. And that just makes so much sense. It does, right? You can't argue with that. It makes perfect sense, right? So why are you still procrastinating? Why are you still procrastinating over doing option 3? That's what I want to know. Now I want to talk a little bit about option 3, because that's really important, because that is the sling method. Okay, now you might be fed up of hearing the sling method, the great results that we get, the great results that runners always get, which is to change their outcome. They always get a different result. Now, lots of people purchase the program and they do nothing. Now that's option 2. You purchase the program, you've put a little bit of money in, you've invested a little bit, but you actually don't do anything. So you're still stuck at option 2. You're stuck in this, okay, great, I'm not doing what I was doing, but now you gotta flip it to option 3. You gotta be the action taker, you gotta be the doer. Now, I can't force you to do that. I can't force you to do anything. What I can do is I can show you my way, and that is the sling method way. And you know, people get angry, pissed off, upset at me for talking negatively, for some strange reason, talking negatively about the things that they're doing that aren't helping them and that are actually taking them further away from their destination. That's option 1. So people get annoyed and upset with me for pointing out things that they're doing wrong. I mean, that baffles me. That genuinely baffles me. If I was doing something wrong, I'd want somebody to say to me, hey, you know what, stop doing that, because that's not helping you, and in fact it's actually hindering you. I would want somebody to say that. And the first part of the sling method is actually be coachable. Be coachable. Because what happened when you first started taking advice from somebody, whoever that was, whatever that advice was, what happened was that you started to take advice from somebody about fixing something. You didn't ask them for the research behind what they were giving you. You didn't question them. You didn't question them at all. You just said, okay, give me, fill my brain with stuff. No questions were asked. It was just, okay, thanks very much, and off I go and do it. But then, when it stops, when it doesn't work, or when the results that you're getting are not the results that you wanted, and somebody comes along and says, why don't you just stop doing that? The research actually disagrees with that. Here's the research. And then people get pissed off with me for doing that. That to me is a little bit mind-boggling. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? I would actually want somebody to do that. I would want somebody to say to me, it's probably a good idea if you stop doing that. It's probably a good idea that you stop traveling north when you want to go south, right? It's probably a good idea. Should we agree on that? I'm just going to take it that the silence is you agreeing with me, because I'm sure you are. So now I want to talk about the sling method and why it gets the great results it does with runners. Well, firstly, because as a sports therapist myself, a lot of the stuff that we studied in sports massage therapy is brilliant stuff, but you can't really apply it unless you've got somebody working on you, i.e. a massage therapist or a remedial therapist of some kind, like a physical therapist or whatever, who knows what to do. So that's what I bring, that's what I give you. I give you knowledge, I give you actionable stuff that you can learn from and you can take away and you can apply it to literally the rest of your life. Okay, so I give you all of this therapy, knowledge and experience of helping so many thousands of runners over the years. I bring that to the sling method to help you to apply that for the rest of your life. Okay? The second thing is, I don't care, and the sling method doesn't care how strong you are, because arbitrary strength does not get specific outcomes. Okay, the only way that arbitrary strength gets you an outcome is if the arbitrary strength that you're building is applied in the same exact way. So for example, squats are specific for squatting, they are arbitrary for running. Okay, so if you want to get better at squatting, you want to get stronger at squatting, you want to lift more weight in a squat, you must squat, period. Okay, now if you want to get better as a runner, you've got to run, or you've got to do the movement of running and apply resistance to it. It's really that simple. That is just like the most simplest way of describing strength training. So I know I use this example a lot. If I want to get bigger, stronger biceps, I have to do bicep curls, or to put it a different way, I have to do the movement of elbow flexion, right? I have to do the movement of elbow flexion. So I have to do that in order to get stronger biceps, because that's what the biceps do, right? So I have to do elbow flexion to get stronger biceps, period. Okay, now apply that same principle to running. I have to produce the movement of running, the movement actions of running at each joint, in the way that it occurs during running, when it's loaded, when it's producing lots of force, or absorbing, resisting lots of force. So for example, in the landing. And I then have to make myself stronger at that. Okay, now to put it another way, and this is to show you the error, the negative, the things that people are doing wrong. Okay, I wanna avoid impact. Why do you want to avoid impact? You literally are training for impact. That's what you're training for. And the reason why I use the word training is because training is specific. Okay? Training is specific. Training asks for a specific outcome from a specific logical approach to doing. So when you go to college, you are training, you're in training to get the certification, the qualification, the degree, the master's degree, the PhD that you want to get in order to get the job that you want to get. So if you want to be a lawyer, you go to college to train at law, right? Obvious, yeah? You want to be a doctor, an MD, you go to college to train in medical, in the medical field, to train to be a doctor. That's specific. You're not studying law to be a doctor. You're not studying to be an electrician. Oh, sorry, you're not studying electricals to be a plumber, right? So when you train to be a runner, you have to train running. You have to train the movements of running. Don't train the movements of other things in order to get better at running. You train to be a doctor, you study medicine. There you go, that's the word I was looking for. You study medicine. You don't study law to be a doctor. So you train as a doctor to be a doctor. You train as a lawyer to be a lawyer. Train as a runner to be a runner. Okay? That's the point that I keep making to people. And people want to argue with me and say, oh, but strength training. I go, yeah. Strength training for what? Strength training for squatting? Strength training for planking? Strength training for deadlifting? It's completely different. So when you squat, what happens? You squat. You do a squat. It's not running. Okay? So you've got to train correctly to get the correct outcome. And that, in my mind, is not debatable. It's not debatable one bit, because that's what the science, that's what the research says, right? So let's look at the sling method in what it does. It trains every body part, every muscle, every joint action specifically to the running movement. So the running gait cycle, the endurance running gait cycle. Not the walking gait cycle or the sprinting gait cycle, although it will help with both, because it's still the gait cycle. A little bit different though. And it will train them, it will train the coordination of every aspect of the gait cycle for endurance running. That's what it will do. So that's what you want, because if you're injured, if you're an injured runner, you have to get better at coordinating your gait cycle. If your body breaks when you run, then your gait cycle coordination is broken. Right? So why are you doing squats and planks to fix your gait cycle movement? Neither one of them are the gait cycle movement. Right? Are you training your pelvis to do the action it needs to do when you run? Are you training the coordinated actions of both legs the way that it needs to occur when you run? Are you training your feet to do the things that they need to do when you run? Because when you run, it's fast. It's not slow. It's not lifting heavy weights. Gravity didn't all of a sudden become more. It didn't become a bigger force. What you're doing is you're training to move your body faster. Now, when you move faster, right, force equals mass times acceleration. Running is the acceleration part of that equation. Right, if you want to run faster, which is what every runner, pretty much every runner wants to do, run faster over the same distance or run a longer distance at the same speed or faster, whatever, you're still accelerating the same mass in the same gravitational field, but faster. So you're accelerating it faster in the same movement, but with more force, because you're accelerating it faster. Now the force equals mass times acceleration. Like I said, the mass didn't change. You are the mass that's being accelerated, and you are accelerating your mass. Okay, so your mass didn't change and gravity didn't change. Therefore, why do you need to be stronger? Because you can already sprint and produce a lot more force than you can ever run a mile, a 5k, a 10k, a half, or a full marathon, or even an ultra for that matter. So what makes you think that you need to train with more mass slower? What makes you think that? That's illogical. Force equals mass times acceleration. The mass doesn't change, i.e. you, and gravity didn't become a bigger force. Okay? So why gravity is what gives your mass its weight, right? So if gravity doesn't change and you don't change, the one part of the equation that changes is the acceleration part. Train that, right? Think about it logically. Okay, so why are you going into a gym training the wrong movement? That's the first thing, which doesn't coordinate the gait cycle. It doesn't coordinate the running movement, therefore doesn't coordinate the running muscles, or the tendons that need to be coordinated, or the fascia, or the ligaments, or the joint actions that need to be coordinated to produce a more powerful, faster gait cycle and prepare you to run faster or longer, or both. How's that logical? And people tell me that the sling method doesn't make sense. It makes absolutely perfect sense. Like literally, it couldn't make more sense if it tried. You're training the right joint actions, therefore training the right muscles, therefore training the tendons in the correct way, training the joint actions in the correct way, therefore training the fascia in the correct way to coordinate the movement that you want to make with more speed, more force, more power. That doesn't make sense. That makes perfect sense. Like I said, it could not make any more sense if it tried. And we have to agree on that, because that is physics. That is science. Okay? So let's put that one to bed. Now, the coordination part of that is the key. Because like I said, if you get injured through running, your gait cycle coordination is broken. It's broken. So stop trying to avoid impact by doing squats. Stop trying to avoid impact by getting on a bike and putting yourself in a completely dysfunctional position. Getting on a bike is not functional. You're not training for running by getting on a bike. And if you think that, you completely missed the point and you're arguing with everything I just said, which is you're arguing with logic and science. That won't work out well. Okay? Now, if you get on a bike and you do cardiovascular work on a bike, yes, your heart will get stronger, but are you preparing yourself for a higher level of impact? Are you preparing yourself for more impact? Are you preparing the joints, the muscles, the fascia, the tendons, the ligaments for what needs to be prepared for when you run? Of course not. Are you preparing yourself to be on your feet for longer, producing more force and therefore absorbing and dealing with more force? No, of course you're not. You're stuck on a bike. You never ever get out of hip flexion on a bike, and in running you must get into full hip extension. You never get out of a protracted shoulder position. That's where the shoulders are forwards. That's the dysfunctional posture that everybody knows is a dysfunctional posture. So how is that even remotely training you for running? Okay, yes, you're getting fitter, but fitter for what? Fitter for riding a bike. All right. And again, I'm going to apologize. I'm sorry I'm pointing this out to you. I'm really sorry I'm trying to help you. I'm really sorry that I'm trying to make you injury free, which is the reason why you came to my group or contacted me, or why you listened to me in the first place. The reason why you went to physical therapy, to get injury free. The reason why you run is to get fitter, to get faster, to get better as a runner. Okay, I'm really sorry that I'm pointing these errors out to you. I'm really sorry that I'm pointing all this stuff out to you for free, and I'm doing it in my own time, that I'm trying to help you for free. I'm sorry about that. Big apology right there. All right, if I need to make that apology, then man, I don't know. Anyway, so I'm trying to give you all the things. That's what all these beach walk blogs are all about, and all of my free information that I put on Facebook and I put on the Instagram and all the socials. It's all about helping you. And if it pisses you off, maybe this is not the right place for you. Maybe you're happy with the results that you're getting. Maybe changing is not for you. maybe you don't want to be helped. And again, my apology to you is that I'm here to help, and I'm here to get those results. So the last thing I wanted to talk about was why the sling method is different from physical therapy. I get this a lot. A lot. Well, why should I buy your program when physical therapy hasn't helped me? Let's go back to option one. You carry on doing the same thing that you always did, you'll get what you always got. You continue going north when you want to go south. I don't do anything that your physical therapist will have had you do. Your physical therapist will have said to you, stretch this, stretch that, do some squats, do some clamshells, do some fire hydrants, do some donkey kicks, do some planks, do some side planks, do some towel scrunches, do some shoulder bridges, some glute bridges, some bird dogs or quadrupeds, whatever you want to call them. Okay, now if I was to tell you to do more of that stuff, then I would be crazy, because that would be doing the same thing that you've always done and getting the same thing that you've always got. So why am I different to physical therapy? Why is the sling method different to physical therapy? Because I'll tell you to stop doing all those things. Now if that doesn't change your mind, if that doesn't convince you, then if you buy my program and I get you to do any of those things, I will give you a refund and you can keep the program. So there's my guarantee to you, all right? If I give you any of those exercises, traditional fitness industry squats, deadlifts, kettlebell swings, planks, stretching, side planks, bird dogs, down dogs, whatever you want to call them, quadrupeds, if I give you any of that stuff to do, I'll give you a refund immediately. That is you have my word on that. You had this on tape, you have this on camera, on video. I'll give you a refund immediately. No questions asked, no quibbles. All right? And you can keep my program, because I know it's not in there. All right, that's the first thing. Second thing is, I know that if I gave you the same thing that you always did, that you've been doing and not getting the results, if I gave you the same thing, you would absolutely slate me on social media. You would literally go and rip me a new hole on social media. And I don't want that. Of course I don't want that. I want to help people by doing different things, by doing the things that are specific to the gait cycle. And that brings me on to the next thing, which is that the sling method for runners and triathletes is 100% specific to the gait cycle. Now, if you're working with a physical therapist and you say to me, oh yeah, but my physical therapist told me that they do things for the gait cycle, then why isn't it getting you the results that you wanted? Why are you still in the same scenario? And I'll tell you how you know. If something is specific for the gait cycle, you'll be standing up and you'll be moving from 1 foot to 2 feet to 1 foot, or you'll be doing things that involve contralateral reciprocations. What that means is that your right leg is going forwards as your left leg is going backwards. Your torso is rotating. You'll be working on your pelvis action in rotation. And the only way you can do that is by using resistance bands in the way that we use them in the sling method. So I know, and you will know, if your physical therapist tells you, oh yeah, we're working on your gait cycle, then why are you doing planks? Why are you stretching? Why are you doing squats? Why are you doing deadlifts? Why are you doing single leg squats? Why are you doing side planks? Why are you doing bird dogs or quadrupeds? Why are you laying on your back trying to activate your TVA? None of that is relevant. None of it. It's not relevant to gait at all. Okay, so that's an easy one. And the last one that I wanted to talk about is when I say the first thing that we do is, there's two things. First thing that we do is always gait analysis if we can. And I had a great question on the public page yesterday about, well, what if you can't walk or run without pain? What if you're in so much pain that you can't walk or run? Then we don't do a gait analysis, of course. We start working off historical data that we have from people that have had the same condition, and we start immediately working on your gait cycle, because everything I've said already in this Beach Walk blog still applies. If you're injured and you get injured when you run, then your gait cycle is broken and it needs fixing, it needs re-coordinating. So you must start working on your gait cycle immediately. Okay? There was one more thing. Oh yeah, so the coordination thing. There's one thing that I wanted to say about that whole thing, which is muscles, tendons, the old school thinking in kinesiology, which I studied many years ago, and I know that we have some physical therapists in the group who will confirm this, kinesiology professors in the group that will confirm this. The transfer of force of a muscle contraction does not all go down the tendon. Roughly between 30 and 40% of a muscle's contractile force goes laterally. It goes through the fascia. Okay? So think about that. If you're contracting a muscle and 30 to 40% of its force is going laterally, right? That's where the fascia comes into play. That stretch reflex is going through the fascia, all right? So that's one of the things that we do and that we work on, is that transverse plane coordination of all the movements. Okay, so working on that coordination, that's the reason why we do that, because the body moves right to left, top to bottom, front to back in opposites. Okay, none of that gets trained. Remember, we talked about why training is specific. None of that gets trained in doing planks, doing squats, doing deadlifts, doing bird dogs and all of that stuff. None of that gets trained. So we have to train those things, because like I said, 30 to 40% of muscular force does not go through the tendon, it goes laterally via the fascia. And the fascia is what connects us top to bottom, left to right, right to left, front to back, back to front, bottom to top. So we must start training everything specific to the gait cycle. So that means we must absolutely be working on the gait cycle using the sling method, because that's what it does, period. That's what it does. That's its job. Coordinates all of those movements specifically for the gait cycle. Every joint action in the specific way it occurs in the gait cycle, specifically for running. And that is the reason why we get the great results that we get when people actually do the work. You have to do the work. You're not gonna fix yourself by osmosis. I know that being in a group of people that are all doing the same work, it's like going to college and being in a classroom full of people studying the same subject with a tutor that's teaching you the subject that you want to train in. That's really important. That's super important, and that's what I want to do. That's what I'm doing. You know, one of the posts in the public group the other day was about how much support I give people in the private group. And the reason why I do that is to keep you focused, to keep your energy channeled into doing the right thing, to not get pulled away into doing the wrong thing, because doing the wrong thing is strengthening the wrong thing in the wrong place at the wrong time. That's not what we want to do. That's what got you to where you are now. Okay? I'm going to just quickly say one last thing before I shut this one down. If you think that you are strength training specific for running, go into the gym and see what all the non-runners are doing. See what everybody in the gym who is not a runner is doing. If you're doing the same things that they're all doing, and you are supposed to be doing run-specific strength training, and everybody else who's not a runner is doing the same things that you're doing, then what you are doing is not run-specific training. Okay? I hope that makes sense. If I want to train to be a doctor, to be an MD, and I go on a course and there's a load of lawyers there, I'm probably on the wrong course, right? It's probably a law course that I stumbled into, or vice versa, right? Same thing with you. If you're supposed to be strength training specifically for running, and all the things that you're doing in your apparently specific strength training for running is what everybody else who's not running, who's not a runner, is doing, it's probably not specific for running, is it? Right? Again, kind of an obvious one, and I'm going to make an apology. I'm really sorry for pointing all this stuff out to you. I'm sorry for bringing all this research to you that's going to help you get better. But, you know, if I have to make that apology to you, maybe you're in the wrong place. Maybe you don't want my help. Maybe you don't want your eyes opened. Maybe you don't want to see what's in front of you, and that's okay. This is not a conspiracy theory. It's just science. It's not a conspiracy theory. I'm not making this stuff up. It's logical, it's science-based, it's research proven. All the research is there, I've shared it all, it's all in my books. It's there for you. If you want to take it, fabulous, I'm there for you. If you don't, it's probably better if you're not here. It's probably better if you just leave the group, because it's not going to align with what you want. It's not going to help you. You're not going to listen. You're just going to argue. I don't want to argue. I just want to help people. Okay? I hope that helps. Beach Walk Blog over and out. Talk to you soon. Have a great one.